Okay, so now moving on to Christina's anthem series, man. This is how we're going to do it. We're going to go far. We're going to chop it up and do that over the next 2 months until we finished with everybody's alley anthems and anthem series now. And yeah, we wrap that up, man. So like I said, I'm not going anywhere until we've completed all of this. So let's get to it, man. Christina's first request is Ren, none other. And I think this is one of his new songs, if I'm not mistaken. It's called Troubles. There is a message over here from Christina that says, published on May 9th. Okay, so it is pretty new. Musically based on Trouble So Hard, 1937. Why does that sound familiar? By Vera Hall, an American folk singer born in 1902 as the daughter of the former slave. Okay, let's rock and roll, man. Let's see what this dude's got, man. Let's go. Oh yeah, we know this. Wait a second. From the age of 19 until 26, I spent most of my life in bed in physical and mental pain. I spent years bouncing from doctor to doctor, searching for a way out with no luck. The more time that passed without answers, the more my body would deteriorate. By the time I was 25, I could barely stand and entered a stress-induced psychosis. Although I was convinced I was going to die, I did climb out. This was my story of hope. I wish I had more stories of hope at the time. Ren's been through it, man. Seriously. Okay, well, let's go back and start from the beginning. Trouble so hard. Trouble so hard.
I don't reach into the past very much for these shards of shattered glass and harsh paper cuts. Leave me stop when I reach in, memories are seeped in. Hydrochloric acid, I go to war and get passive and freeze up. Music help the ice to thaw, put the chisel.
Yeah, this motherfucker just flows on shit though. Ren just flows on tracks though. Let's be real. Come on, man, go back.
I don't reach into the past very much for these shards of shattered glass and harsh paper cuts. Leave me stop when I reach in, memories are seeped in. Hydrochloric acid, I go to war and get passive and freeze up. Music help the ice to thaw.
Hydrochloric acid and I go to war, but that shards of glass thing also, when you go back to the past, because his past is broken, so you get the shards of glass. And when he goes back to the past, it's almost like he says, my past is broken, and the broken shards lie there. So if I go back, I'm going to cut myself again, because that's how traumatic it was. That's fucking crazy. And then hydrochloric acid, I go to war and get passive freezer music. I don't even know if these CCs are working too well, right? But it's, anyway, carry on.
Shards of shattered glass and harsh paper cuts. Leave me stop when I reach in, memories are seeped in. Hydrochloric acid, I go to war and get passive and freeze up. Music help the ice to thaw.
I go to war and get passive and then freeze up. That's fire, right? I go to war, so I'm literally going into battle. But when I go into battle, somehow that overwhelms me and then I freeze up, right? Come on, bro. That's fire. That's amazing. Let's go.
Music help the ice to thaw. Put the chisel in the middle, swing the hammer of Thor. Pull it out of the impossible, Excalibur sword. Edging notepads full of reasons why my feelings.
Pulling out the impossible. Pulling out the impossible. It's the Caliber saw, where you literally trying to take it out of the rock, right? But you got to have a certain superpower. You got to be a certain person to be able to take it out of that fucking rock. Are you worthy? Come on, bro. But that's all playing within his own psyche, in his own head, in terms of like saying, I don't feel worthy, and therefore what I need to sort of conquer is impossible. It's like that Caliber saw. In order for me to be able to remove it from the stone, it means that I need to deem myself worthy in my own mind. Come on, bro. That's fucking Fire little play there. Come on, bro.
Excalibur sword, edging notepads full of reasons why my feelings are sore. The first day that I got sick, ejected from the cockpit of living. 19, young teen, waking up bitten. Posters up, manhunt, Ren went missing. Hard to have faith when the gods don't listen. The first year, baby, was hard.
Hard to have faith when the gods don't listen. You think they don't, essentially. Look where you are. Like, I always like to look at the positive side of something, and I understand what he's trying to say with that. It's like, it is very hard to have faith when it feels like day after day after day, you're just going through the pain and you're going through the agony. But despite all of that, Ren has shown his resilience. Despite all of that, he's actually come out more of a inspirational figure, right? Because of those strifes and because of those struggles, because people look at him and listen to his music and be like, fuck me, I can literally directly plug and play what he's saying into my own life. You have taken your pain, you have taken your strife, you have taken your agony, and literally, I'm speaking to Ren over here, and literally channeled that into a positive notion. Not many people can fucking do that. The gods were listening. The gods had a plan for you. The gods are like, this dude can handle this, and therefore we need him to be a disciple of sorts. Come on, man. Come on, man. Fire.
Baby was the hardest, waking in the body that was buried like a carcass. Brain in the lion's den, body in the shark pit. Waking up in pain again, aching, broken hearted. Persistent little blogger, I was bouncing from a doctor to a doctor to a doctor, like a table tennis game that has no end. So be the fate of Ren, every single question answered with.
I was going from a doctor to a doctor to a doctor, like a table tennis game that has no end. Fire, bruh. It was just this ping pong. Fucking back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Come on, man.
Question on the end. The second year I came returns for giving up my dreams. Mine was severed from the means that helped me write these rhyme schemes. Brain was inflamed, the fatigue was crushing. Hard to remain sane with your brain combusting. And the third year was murder.
It's hard to stay sane when your thoughts is crushing. That's fucking true, though. And I've said this a couple of times before, that it literally takes a single day to take the sanest man and drive him into complete and utter lunacy, right? Because you can fight and you can fight and you can fight, but it takes that one day, right, where it kind of like everything's just weighing on you too much, and that day being the straw that broke the camel's back is the day that you absolutely snap, and then you start spiraling, right? And the spiral is fucking quick. You can spiral very, very fast. And the crazy thing about that is that, you know, it's that mental fortitude, it's that mental strength that Ren obviously does have, right? It's always to sort of fight those demons within you. It's that battle between like good and bad consistently in your own mind. It's a battle between the demon and your consciousness, right? And your consciousness can very easily be taken by those sort of demonic thoughts, essentially. And that's why it is unbelievably important for every single person, right? You need to keep your mind strong so that you don't hurt yourself, and your body strong so that nobody hurts you physically, right? It's unbelievably important to do that. I would say that the former is actually far more important, because you can do real damage to yourself if you don't strengthen that mental acuity, that mental capacity, and you give in to that, oh, well, fucking, there's no hope for me, right? Your mind can very quickly completely wreck you, and there will be physical effects to that as well, all right? But if you are able to keep that mental strength, you'll never be able to hurt yourself, right? Regardless of what strife you go through. Right? And if you're able to keep your physical strength, people don't hurt you. It's important. It's important. Mind and body, right? It's literally soul and the physical are intertwined. You got to keep them. You got to keep them in check at all times, and you got to keep them healthy. Come on.
And the third year was murder, living in a purgatory full of worry, wouldn't live to be 30. Lifestyle hurt me, always in my bedroom, rearrange the alphabet and all the letters spelled.
And the crazy thing about that, I apologize for pausing, I'll go back over here, right, is that even though Ren is kind of saying like he didn't quite have the mental strength over here, he did have the mental strength. It just felt like he didn't have the mental strength because he was going through physical agony, right, and mental agony, and yet he persevered, he pushed through, right? And it's, look, life continues. No, you don't just push through and then everything stops, right? That's not the way life works, right? You have your good days, you have your bad days. It's all in the cycle. You're on the Ferris wheel. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down, right? But when you're up, you have the gratitude for the life that you have, which Ren has. And when you're down, you know that you're going to fight to get up again, right? And that's what Ren does as well. And that's why his music is so powerful and so important, is because specifically in today's day and age, where we have all of these polarizing, divisive, very toxic social media interactions, people are really struggling with that mental strength. They're struggling to grapple with their ability to control their thoughts, their ability to control who they are, their ability to accept who they are. And that is very powerful when you have another person to say, listen, I went through this, but I never stopped. Right? I went through this. I still got up. I still made my bed in the morning, and I still fucking went and did what I needed to do. Right? Just show the youth and show the people that discipline, right, is always what's going to persevere. Discipline and consistency is what's going to see you into better pastures. Come on, man.
Rearrange the alphabet and all the letters spell doom. Light hurt my eyes, popping pills to survive. When you're 23 and mentally you steadily decline. 24 I was poor, disability benefits. What's the benefit of disability?
You were poor when you're 24 as well? You too? Okay, good. We got something in common. Crazy thing is that when I was 21 I wasn't poor. When I was 21 I actually made a lot of money. 24 I was fucking dirt poor. Dirt for some odd reason.
You steadily decline. 24 I was poor, disability benefits. What's the benefit of disability? It's irrelevant. 25 and the scars that were etched, they crack. Elastic bands.
Disability benefits. What's the benefit of disability? Come on, bro, that's fire. That's very, very, very fucking clever.
Even the scars that were etched, they crack. Elastic bands only stretch so far and then snap deep inside coast. Hallucinations, troubled vision.
Elastic bands only stretch so far and then snap. That is that's a one way to describe your mental fortitude, right? Because eventually it can only stretch so far and then snap. And that snapping point, God knows what can happen from there. Right? But that also can be attributed to reality. Reality can only be stretched so far until it snaps, right? I've said this before. You can only twist the fabric of reality so far until eventually it's going to snap back on you. There's a natural order, and the natural order is always going to win. The natural order is always going to win. You can go up against the grain. You can do whatever you want. You can bend reality as much as you want. It might not snap back now, but it eventually will snap back. And the same thing applies to the mind, right? You can sit there and think that, well, that's fine, it's fine. If you don't deal with that, eventually there's going to be a snapping point, because it needs to come back to an equilibrium state. It needs to come back to a natural order. So you're going to snap, you're going to have the breakdown, and you're going to reassess and reevaluate your entire life. That's a natural order thing, essentially. It's not something that, oh, well, it's just a tragic thing that actually happens to human beings. No, it's designed that way. It's designed that way so that it's only up to a certain point. You can only fill up a glass so much. It can only take so many droplets of water until eventually it starts spilling over, and you got to turn that glass over. The mind works in the exact same fucking way. So eventually you have to deal with that. You got to get out of your denial. And if you don't do it yourself, the natural order is going to force you back into the natural order state. There's only so long that you can live in chaos, right? Until the natural order kicks in and says, okay, this chaos has consequences, and this is what's going to happen. So it forces you back into things. So that's what I'm saying. Once you hit rock bottom, there's no other way but up. There's no other way but up. You can only climb from there, essentially. But that is literally by design. That's literally by design. And it's unbelievable. You just take a look around. You take a look at the world. Everything has order. Absolutely everything has fucking order, right? Seasons come. Things live, things die. The fittest, the survival of the fittest, and things like that, right? It gives way, like, things that no longer fit the natural order give way to things that do fit the natural order. Things die and something else is reborn, because there always needs to be an equilibrium, and that equilibrium gets stretched right across our sort of universe and our physical beings and our mental being to a certain degree, because that's literally, we're designed within that sort of structure. And it's unbelievably important to actually understand that when your mind is in turmoil, right, it's for a reason. It's because it needs you firstly to experience something, to learn something, right? But then it needs action in order for you to sort of reverse that kind of thing. And eventually it will have a snapping point, right? There's only so far you can stretch it until eventually you're going to have to deal with the reality of the fact that I actually need to do something about this. Do you know what I mean? It forces you into a space where you come out of the chaos, right? And whether you want to do that in an easy way or whether you want to do it in a hard way, most of us take the hard way. Trust me, we know, right? Most of us take the hard way because of our denial and our egos and shit like that. But it eventually will do that. Come on.
Psychosis, hallucinations, troubled vision. Visits from the underworld were conjuring my superstition. 25, living back at home with my mum, but not because I'm a bum, alone and physically done. So thin, so frail, so weak I'd become, and my skin so pale, never kissed by the sun. One time I carved a hole in my chest just to feel. I wish that was a metaphor.
Yeah, I love the way he uses, the way he describes things is so much more poetic. You can see that this guy fucking wrote poetry when he was younger, because it's like so thin, so frail. Sitting at home, my skin never. You could literally, my skin never touched by the sun, but he'll say my skin never kissed by the sun, as if it's like it's a beautiful thing to have the sun roll over your body. Do you know what I mean? Right? So kissed by the sun, in terms of like the way he says that, makes you sort of be grateful for the ability to have, you know, for the ability to be able to go outside and be kissed by the sun, because it's something absolutely beautiful. So he actually brings that to light, essentially, because you take that kind of thing for granted, right? There's something beautiful and caressing and warm about the sun sort of rolling over your skin. So that's why he says kissed by the sun, because it's actually something beautiful that a lot of people tend to take for granted like that.
That was a metaphor, the struggle was real. When you're living in the Holocaust, you buckle and kneel. There's relief in the teeth of the kiss of cold steel. Fact, 26, I'm highly medicated and the pain sophisticated, while I'm lying broken naked on my back. I bore my microphone until my coffin started dropping raw thoughts with the Grim Reaper knocking on the track.
I brought my microphone to my coffin. Oh my God, that is fire. And then I dropped raw thoughts. Come on, bro. Literally saying you cannot kill me, even if you put me in a fucking coffin. You can't fucking kill me. Do you know what I mean? I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do either way. So yes, there's a coffin in the fucking studio booth. I brought my microphone to my coffin because even though I feel like I'm dead, I feel like I should be dead, right? I will always breathe fucking life, even from my fucking coffin. That is the sign, and that is the very definition of mental strength. The very definition of mental strength and perseverance. Unbelievable. Fucking what a line. I love that line. Wait, go back.
26, I'm highly medicated and the pain sophisticated, while I'm lying broken naked on my back. I bore my microphone until my coffin started dropping raw thoughts with the Grim Reaper knocking on the track. But then, man, lo and behold, I heard an angel beckon on this treacherous road.
Fuck me, that scheme is just so stupidly great though. I brought the microphone to my coffin and I started dropping raw thoughts when the Grim Reaper started dropping on the track. Right? It can't drop obviously on the coffin because it's kind of like saying I was already dead. The Grim Reaper already came for me. But even the art that I was trying to create, the Grim Reaper was trying to kill. Do you know what I mean? So he's literally saying that he's basically telling you the difficulty in making these songs was quite something. Because the Grim Reaper had already done his job with me. He had came for me already, and I decided to persevere either way. I brought the mic to my coffin and I started creating my artwork because that's where I wanted to find some sort of solace. That's where I wanted to find my therapy. And the Grim Reaper even came for the fucking tracks. The Grim Reaper came to take down the tracks as well, essentially. So he's literally telling you how difficult it was to make that music and to keep that music positive, because the Grim Reaper was in between every line. Brilliant. brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Actually, let's just replace that for Ren. You know what I mean? Let's just say brilliant and Ren is synonymous, right? There should be synonyms in the dictionary. Brilliant, amazing, excellent, Ren. Let's go, bro.
And lo and behold, I heard an angel beckon on this treacherous road. Was a stem cell doctor with a generous glow. In the cell transplant, pulled me out of the cold. And my skin got younger and my body got stronger. And my stomach felt hunger for a door that was closed. And my soul heard music for the first time. Beauty was a word I'd use for this.
I knew he was gonna fucking do this. This over here. I knew that. He's telling you, and he doesn't want you to sit there and be like, listen, I'm kind of like, feel sorry for me. Do you know what I mean? I don't need your sympathy. I got fucking stronger. My stomach found hunger from a door that was fucking closed. Now, this is his stand-up moment in High Ren, right? It's literally that, exactly the same thing, just in a different song. Right? So that High Ren had all of that where you felt very sympathetic and you felt really like it was heavy. And then literally he stands up and gives you that, but nothing will take me fucking down stance. Do you know what I mean? He's doing the same thing over here. And he does that a lot. I love the fact that he will pull you down into his pain just to lift you up with his strength. It's fucking crazy. This is why Ren is one of a kind fucking artist.
First time beauty was a word I'd use for this gift of gold. Oh Lord, I forgive you. Lord, I forgive you. Lord, I forgive you. Made me whole. This music I give you. Pain that I live through. Everything I've been through is yours to hold.
It's an interesting flip on that because, you would obviously ask for forgiveness from the Lord. And he's saying that he's gone through so much pain where he's kind of like he's kind of blaming God for that, which is a normal human trait to be able to do that. Like when something goes wrong in your life, right? When things are dark, right? You tend to denounce God. Essentially, it's like why am I going through this, right? So it's almost like he's giving God kind of like a human characteristic to a certain degree, where it's like, I know God can judge everybody else, but I feel that he can be judged too. And it's not in a disrespectful way. It's kind of like in a why type way. Why would a greater being, why would a greater power be able to see all this kind of suffering and allow this kind of suffering to have? Now, if we equate it to the Bible and we literally start playing on, theology, and we start going into all those side of doctrines, we can go into free will and all that kind of crap. Not crap, but we can go into that kind of discussion essentially, but let's save that for another day. What I like about the flip over here is that he's literally saying, as a human being, right? Yes, I sin, and yes, I go through this pain, right? But I kind of felt like I placed this at your doorstep, right? You, the high and mighty, and if I'm your child and I'm meant to be like special to you, right? Kind of like a chosen one for you, right? Then why have I been given all this pain? So he's literally saying, Lord, I forgive you for the pain that you've given on me. Kind of like accepting his pain, accepting that that's just part of the normal, that's just part of his life. He was meant to go through that, right? And I don't think he's doing it in a disrespectful manner. I just literally think that in the way that he's doing it, he's kind of like saying that, he blamed God for a lot, right? And he forgives God because he sees this as part of a greater plan. Maybe that's where he's going with it, maybe not. I don't know. But the flip on forgiveness that's what for me catches my attention more, because of the fact that you would usually ask for forgiveness from God. And now he's literally saying, I forgive you. Not that he's making himself God or kind of like a complex like that. It's basically saying, he's basically trying to say that I blamed you for all of this, right? And by forgiving God, right? And I mean, I don't know. There's different ways to look at this essentially as well. But anyway, let's just leave it at that, or else this is just going to be ridiculous. Carry on.
Everything I've been through is yours to hold.
disease, ME, MCAS, POTS, fibromyalgia, etc., all receive criminally low attention and funding relative to many other conditions. Victims are usually left to suffer for years without any solid explanation of what is going on, and receive very little help to escape a body consistently at war with itself. This can make you feel like giving up, and many times I came close, but I'm happy I didn't, because life is beautiful now. I promise it can be. I promise yours can be too, sorry. For those of you still living in the dark, hold on. There will be a day where these conditions are more easily managed. Until that day, I will keep pushing for more exposure, more compassion, more understanding. We all deserve a life free of suffering, where we can find moments of real beauty and peace. Even when things seem hopeless, I promise this is still possible. 100%. Hope. I've spoken about hope before, man. Hope is a very, very, very powerful thing. For those of you who want to learn more about hope and what it really means, what hope really means to a human being, you should read Dr. Viktor Frankl's book called Man's Search for Meaning. That is the prime example of what hope can do. People think that, oh, well, it doesn't matter, what's the point? I can hope all I want, but it's never going to happen. No, it's something to hold on to, and for the human mind, that is unbelievably important. If the human mind can't hold on to something, there is absolutely no fucking hope. But if a human mind can hold on even to something small, right, it can literally have a massive ripple effect that it can change their entire life. Hope is powerful. Hope is small. Hope is being able to believe in something utterly, having the faith that eventually you will be able to come out of it. But if you lose hope, you lose everything. You know what I mean? You lose absolutely everything. It's very powerful. It's very important. You guys, let me know what you think down below. Oh my God, this is a long video. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.